And now, the world's most watched professional wrestling news program, the Pro Wrestling Report.
Hello, wrestling fans. Dameon Nelson, the man they call Meathead, here from the Pro Wrestling Report headquarters in Orlando, Florida, as our coverage of Wrestlemania 24 continues. Meathead, tonight was the night, the biggest night in professional wrestling each and every year. It was Wrestlemania at the Citrus Bowl. Wrestlemania Sunday, 74,635 fans filled the
Somebody
Citrus
gave birth
Bowl
during the show, and apparently there was a 35th fan. It started on OBT, hanging out. Yeah.
Great show, and let's go over it match by match and talk about Wrestlemania. But Mita, the atmosphere leading up to Wrestlemania, as we got the opportunity to see Rev Theory perform.
Wow, hey now.
At the Fan Access Tour.
I think that's where I got my red neck from.
It was a big game atmosphere from the start of the day down at the Citrus Bowl in the area surrounding the Citrus Bowl, and when 75,000 fans, nearly 75,000 fans, converged amongst the Citrus Bowl for Wrestlemania 24. But let's talk about the matches, because this had some surprising results. And this, the first in a very long time, McMahon-free Wrestlemania.
Wow.
The opening matchup was Finlay versus JBL. In that match, Frank Cosentino picked...
You actually sleep on the
I did that on purpose. The opening match was JBL and Finlay. Frank picked Finlay. You and I both picked JBL. JBL, the winner in that matchup, Belfast Brawl, seeing the return of Hornswoggle to a WWE ring. Your thoughts on that match?
It was what it was. JBL needs to wear a bro, or man's ear, whatever you want to call it. But it was what it was. There was a handful of spots that were very aggressive, and it was nothing more than a hardcore match, really, with the name Belfast Brawl on it, with JBL coming out on top. And again, JBL needed this win to put over his return as meaningful.
And that's what we talked about on the WrestleMania preview show. Frank, the odd man out in that one, not able to pick the winner. However, we then see the next match, which I believe was the Money in the Bank ladder match. And it was the 7 competitors with a surprise entrant, unofficially, of course. Matt Hardy doing the run-in. He wasn't an
entrant.
I said a surprise entrance, not officially, of course. Matt Hardy doing the run-in in the match. The only run-in,
wrong again.
2 run-ins of the night. But we can't count Charles Robinson. That wasn't a run-in, but...
That was a jet-in.
The winner and the man with the briefcase, Money in the Bank, CM Punk.
The crazy mariachi Punk.
Nobody picked him but Frank Cosentino, actually. You went with Kennedy, I went with Morris, and Frank going with CM Punk in that match. Frank, yes he did. Punk, FC. Frank Cosentino, who'd have thunk it? Great match. Shelton Benjamin, of course, the superstar again, taking an amazing bump.
Not the only one, though, because again, all 7 in this match, above and beyond. Above and beyond.
Indeed, and Matt Hardy coming in, renewing his feud with MVP. Shelton Benjamin took a bump similar to that of Edge and Jeff Hardy when Edge got shipped out in the Money in the Bank last year due to injury. However, Shelton laid there for the rest of the night, with the match went another good 8-10 minutes. Nobody ever came to check on him and help him. There's inconsistency there, which is not surprising, but very, very solid match, the Money in the Bank ladder match. Your thoughts?
Yeah, it was what it was again. It was the Money in the Bank match, and we went in with high expectations, which I think were met.
It is the ECW Championship match. As we saw in the preview before WrestleMania, it was the WrestleMania 24-man Battle Royal, where Kane wins that Battle Royal. Kane gets a shot at CHAVO.
And Chavo was his name,
for the ECW Championship.
And
Chavo
champion
comes out
was his name
first. And Kane then comes out, surprising Chavo, already in the ring. Chavo waiting down to the ramp for Kane to come out. Kane behind him, choke slam, 1, 2, 3, new ECW champion. Could be in better time than the Ultimate Warriors win over the Honky Tonk Man at SummerSlam 88.
30 seconds.
Chavo drops the strap. Kane, ECW champion. Your thoughts?
I sound callous if I say I don't care.
But
honestly, do you? And I pose it to you, and I pose it to you. Do you?
Well, I did pick TBD, which meant the winner of the Royal...
To be determined.
which meant the winner of the Battle Royal would win the match. Well, no, because Frank picked Chavo.
And I picked...
And Chavo wasn't in it. So
and I picked what?
You picked...
I picked if a face would win the Battle Royal, the face would win the belt.
You said... But then you said if a heel won, a heel would win it too.
No, that's not what I said.
Okay, fine. Y'all watch it. He said that. If a face
what
wins,
I said
the
was,
face wins the belt. If a
I
heel
apologize.
wins, the heel
It was
wins the belt.
backwards. I said if a heel wins it, the heel will win it. If a face wins, Chavo will win it. I was wrong.
Can't really rate that match. It wasn't a match, really.
What match?
Exactly.
I think I turned around the scratch and it was over.
Bunny Mania, Meathead.
Yeah, lots of things happen in Bunny Mania. For those of you that watch the show, for those of you that have already been on the internet and on the forum, the light truss went out.
The spider. That little incident.
The spider.
Happens.
Yeah.
We saw the reset, if you will, of the show because Flair HBK had happened, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But the nighttime pyro, I guess, a reopen of WrestleMania, which seems to have blown out some circuit somewhere. But Bunny Mania, Snoop Dogg, a dog in the fishnizzle, in the mid fizzle.
In the fishnizzle, faux shizzle off the hizzle. I'm sorry, we've been on OBT a little too long. I'm starting to get crazy izzle in my head, in my hizzle.
I will go on record. I don't even know who won that match.
I do. And it was the Glamazon picking up the pin.
How high did she hold the belt? Just high enough, huh? A match that is worth talking about, though, was a match of historic proportions. It was indeed Ric Flair's final match in WWE, and many would say in the wrestling business. I think this is one retirement that may actually be a retirement, and that is Flair going up against HBK. HBK with the super kick. Flair pulling some stuff out.
No, stop. HBK saying, "I'm sorry, I love you." Super kick. Done.
Third super kick of the match, and pins Ric Flair. Ric Flair retired, and 74,000 fans plus with a standing ovation for Ric Flair, who bows out gracefully at WrestleMania 24. Meathead, your thoughts on that matchup?
There was some moist eyes in the crowd. This reporter had a little something in his eye. I don't know what happened, but something must have got in there and it got all liquidated. And
we saw some things out of Ric Flair we haven't seen in quite a long time. We saw the old Nate as best he could be back in that ring. We saw Shawn Michaels leave as soon as he beat Ric Flair to give the stage back to Ric Flair. And the moment that was created was, you know, for me, I wanted to watch the match, and that's what I did. I watched the match.
Here's how I know that Damian Nelson was into this match. Every smart-ass remark made by this guy was ignored because somebody was watching the match.
And, you know, the fans, the respect was there. Everybody, including Ric Flair, obviously knew going into this was it. This was the last ride, if you will. Very well done by WWE, in my opinion. Placed well on the card.
Sure.
And really a solid delivery from those two performers. And we'll see what happens tomorrow night on Raw, where we will be if we do get that farewell from Ric Flair. But I think the career is over, clearly. And he said he would never retire, but he has been retired. Umaga goes up against Batista in a brand supremacy match.
Something happened in this match, too. Batista, we won't say missed. We will say something may have happened in that final
his load shifted.
In that final spine buster or power bomb or something. I think he pulled something in his back because Batista, the moment he won the match, ran off.
Well, I think it was ran off in embarrassment because he botched that.
No, you can't say botch because again, something physically could have happened. That's not. I don't think it did. So,
I think he sold the injury angle to explain how he basically tripped up on. I mean, and let's not discount the fact that Umaga is a 300-pound plus person, so executing that move certainly was not easy.
He's done that move on Khali though.
Yeah.
Mark Henry.
Yeah. Could be a center of gravity issue. Umaga being shorter.
Possibly.
Lower center of gravity. Decent match, obviously. We all picked Batista. We knew Batista was going to go over in that matchup. Will it matter tomorrow night? Will it matter this Friday night on SmackDown? No. What will matter is the placement of the card of the main events, which we'll talk about in just a few moments. Batista wins. We all picked Batista in that match, except Frank, who said it would be a disqualification because no single brand would win. Be that as it may, it is then the WWE Championship.
And by the way, at this point, the lights are being circulated and returned to functionality.
It is Triple H versus Randy Orton versus John Cena, who comes out with a high school marching band. Very well done. I believe it was a high school marching band. I know it was a marching band.
It was not a high school marching band. It was actually the marching band of the U. And I say F the U. Thank you.
The three-way dance. Who knew? Nobody. Who would win that match? We
Except
did
for
pick, though.
This guy.
We did pick on the WrestleMania preview edition, Frank going with Triple H, what many people thought Triple H, who got the most pops and the most positive fan reaction of any of the three competitors. John Cena booed, of course, and Randy Orton. People are sort of neutral on him, as you saw in the voting. 8% went with Orton. Orton wins that match, folks. Orton walks out WrestleMania 24, still the WWE champion, the way that I and you said it should be, as Orton was made tonight at WrestleMania. Now, keep in mind, folks, that match not on the top of the card.
That
was
solidified
third from the top.
That solidified the fact that Orton was going to win, because you want to send them home happy, as Frank will always tell you. So, because the Orton Cena Triple H match was the first of the two title matches, you know, in between the May Show and Big Weather, or whatever that was. Big Show and Mayweather, I know that, but that's where you can let the heel win, and the heel can go away with the belt. And Triple H doesn't need the belt for merchandising, for status. Cena doesn't need the belt for all that other stuff. Randy Orton was made because he has the belt, and now continues to hold the belt, and now he is a just completely made man.
Just like when Triple H was getting his comeuppance, if you will, where
Sure.
every pay-per-view went into, he had to lose. He was going to lose. Triple H won't win. But he kept doing it. And the respect was gained. The respect was earned. Not to steal a pay-per-view title from Ring of Honor, but respect was earned. And Randy Orton, as you said, really being made here at WrestleMania, walking out still the champ. Walking out of No Mercy with the belt, walking out of the Rumble with the belt, walking out of No Way Out with the belt.
3 years ago, we wondered 3 years ago if the made spot should have been him beating the Undertaker for the streak. It's okay; they gave it back to him. This was his spot.
Orton is still WWE champion, and then it is the money match, if you will, as some people call it. It is Floyd Money Mayweather. Pretty boy Floyd, if you will, going up against the Big Show in a match where there are no rules, but there must be a winner. And that winner could be either by disqualification, by countout, or by knockout. And it is a match where, our expectations were low enough that we didn't even pick a winner in this match on the preview edition of the Pro Wrestling Report for WrestleMania. However, the match certainly over-delivered. As far as having no expectations, not knowing what it was going to be, I thought it was an intriguing 15 minutes or so of drama and action and entertainment, and Mayweather really stepping up.
Really?
I'm not going to say anybody was a good wrestler, bad wrestler, whatever, but for the time they were out there, I think that they engaged the audience enough where people actually cared.
Enough, yeah. Now, I know we didn't officially pick, and I'm going to say that obviously I was going to pick Mayweather, and you're going to assume I'm saying that because Mayweather won. It doesn't make a difference.
Don't make a bit of damn.
Because, and I've actually explained this before, I don't know if I've done it on this program or I've done it somewhere else, but the thing with Mayweather is you let Mayweather win so he can go on. Big Show doesn't need to win because he still can be Big Show in the WWE. Mayweather needs to win because he needs to be Money Mayweather, and he needs to promote actual pay-per-view fights on his name.
The main event, it is Edge, the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, on SmackDown, going up against The Undertaker, who is 16-0 or 15-0 at WrestleMania.
And also, by the way, they finally did it right. Orton came out last.
Champion.
Edge came out last.
Along with in-ring introductions.
Only for the triple threat.
Chavo coming out first, but then again, that's ECW. So.
Only for the triple threat. Actually, you had Justin Roberts announcing them on their way down, Edge and Taker. So
that match, again, truly engaged by the audience. The audience solidly behind the Undertaker.
I gotta say that during the match, if it was a 15-minute match, the first 10, we were there as an audience, but we weren't in the match. Then out of nowhere, the last 5 minutes, the place woke up.
Lots of signatures, ref bump, and lots of near falls.
Charles Robinson. I swear the man does a 30-second mile. Shoo!
There's a like a blonde streak of
Wow.
wind blowing down the citrus.
Wow. Because, earlier in the evening we had joked amongst ourselves and, amongst the group, there'll be no run-ins. It's the distance issue. They just see the distance. Well, Charles Robinson did run in, and I mean he ran, folks. Run, Charles, run!
You said that match would end in disqualification. It did not, as The Undertaker goes 16-0, wins the match and the title on top of the card. Was
Second year in a
SmackDown
row.
At WrestleMania 24. Frank and I both picked The Undertaker just because of the obvious. Now, I engaged in a gambling situation.
Yes, and
because
you're lighter in the pocket because of it.
I felt that Edge would win that match until realizing, putting it all together, that it was the last match, and as you said earlier, and as Frank says, gotta send the fans home happy, which is why the Orton match wasn't at the top of the card, because Orton winning was not sending people home happy. Triple H winning, Cena winning, ultimately, would have, either of those scenarios would have sent the fans home happy. Undertaker had to win, given the placement of this matchup, and you know what? The match was good. The match was certainly good.
Yeah.
And we did see,
Ryder and Hawkins.
A little bit of interference there with Thaddeus was at ringside as well. Vicky was at ringside. However, as you said, nothing happened. I mean, didn't get involved.
Right.
As far
Well,
as
she might not have had sleeves on, and we don't want to see her on camera without sleeves.
Your thoughts? The match, the end of the match, the ending. I mean, Taker going over.
I'm a little upset. I told you during the whole thing that we had going on, I would pay $1 to see Edge win. So.
You know, it would have made sense for Edge to win. However, it made a lot of sense for The Undertaker to win as well. It would have been a more unique ending to the show had the Undertaker lost and gone 15-1 at WrestleMania. It really doesn't make sense for him.
That would have made Edge. It would have made Edge.
Yeah, but as you said several times throughout the match, Edge was in the main event at WrestleMania, and that's what made him. But again, what did I say? These people don't realize that.
Right.
And that's
you
the
will.
issue.
You will.
Overall production value, what they did to the Citrus Bowl was absolutely astonishing, and it translated well on TV.
I feel bad for everyone else. Now, I understand being the person that I am and doing the things that we do as far as going to different shows, local, national, worldwide, WWE, whatever. I feel bad for them because they put in millions and millions into just the production value alone, and they had a 2 to 3 match malfunction with the spider. But it happens.
I'm sure at home.
But it happens. Well, it wasn't seamless because in a bunny match it went dark.
Yeah.
And they had to light the ring with spotlights for about a good 5 minutes. So no, it was not seamless. I mean, you saw it at the house.
And for the live audience, the entire structure was a substantial piece of the equation. I think once after getting over that hiccup, I'm pretty sure that they were able to compensate as best they could. But HD, really has HD is not meant to be broadcast by a spotlight.
Yeah. You paid an extra $10 for HD. I would be furious. Also, the Blu-ray DVD that's going to come out later. How is that going to be affected? They're going to have to up-convert that portion.
We saw a flyover by...
Lots of flyovers.
Yes, by local advertising, not TNA, because of those idiots on the internet. Oh, TNA is going to do a flyover to disrupt WrestleMania. You're a bunch of fools. Just stop believing everything you hear.
Let's pull it back for a second.
Or read.
Let's pull it back for a second. TNA was in the building, not in the Citrus Bowl, but they were across the street from Fan Access.
They did what they should have done, and they simply got the word about their product out to the audience. But they were not disruptive at all.
They had rolling trucks with video boards on it, playing Impact videos on it. Cool.
Completely unobtrusive.
Yeah.
But so that did not happen. But we did have the DirecTV blimp, which was actually surprisingly
at some points it was showing live footage. But apparently they weren't getting a good signal either, because then it started tiling and blocking.
And the aerial shots that we saw of the Citrus Bowl looked simply phenomenal in being in there. I mean, WWE did a great job. WrestleMania is big time. It is huge. Announced next year, April 5, Houston, Texas, at the Reliant Center or Stadium or whatever it's called. And of course, I'll be there for WrestleMania. But you know what? It was a great show. I mean, I left that show.
And by the way, you know what we didn't talk about was a little bit earlier in Fan Access, Rev Theory.
They lit it up.
Yeah. Dameon and I decided to camp out and just sit right up on a rail, wait for the concert, turn around to look, and there had to be a good 500 to 1,000 people sitting there watching Rev Theory, but you wouldn't know it because you were sitting in front watching the show. And Yeah, very intense. Very intense. I definitely suggest going to get the single or wait until June for the
June 10th, long
the
time
whole
away. But
album 2
drop. WrestleMania 24 is in the books. 24th annual WrestleMania. It was a great show. Interested to see how it translated onto video. I'm sure it won't lose any points. It may gain a few actually. And when that is,
I don't know. I'm telling you that the whole production issue with the lights may throw off some of it, but it happened in a bunny match.
That's the thing.
Yeah, it may. It happened in a bunny match, and I hope they corrected it with the lighting rig at least for the next couple matches. So.
For Frank Constantino, the man they call Meathead, Dameon Nelson signing off from PWR headquarters here in Orlando, Florida, and we'll bring you our final WrestleMania week update tomorrow with the Raw wrap-up, as we will be in the Amway Arena for WWE Raw. Thanks for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you check out all of our WrestleMania coverage, including interviews, exclusive interviews with AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels of TNA Wrestling. We'll see you soon here on the Pro Wrestling Report.